Hello, thank you for tuning into my channel. It's WIP It Wednesday for Wednesday, July 27th, 2022. So if you want to see what I've been working on this week, please stay tuned. So I am so happy that I can share what I've been working on this past week. With it being Vlogmas in July, it gives me an amazing opportunity to work on a variety of different projects. And so I get to share a whole bunch of different stuff today, which is really cool. I don't really know where to start, but I'll start back here since it's big and bold and in your face. I finished my trip around the world quilt top. I'm going to zoom out a little bit. A lot of you have seen this quilt top, so but here it is. I used my 2 jelly rolls. I used the Sashiko jelly roll and then the Sunny Side Up for the yellows. I added a few of my own fabrics in here in 2.5-inch strips, and this is the entire top. It is 57 inches by 57 inches, so it's like for a really big baby, I guess. And I have to decide on a backing fabric. I usually do the binding as soon as I get the top done, and I've chosen my binding fabric. Let me grab it. And I really didn't have to choose it. I had some leftover strips from the Sashiko line. So these are just leftover strips. These are the ones that I didn't really use in my piecing because I thought they were too, I thought they looked too white or too cream for the dark blue sections. But I think that as a binding, they'll be fine. They are floral. Okay, most of them are. This one is not, but it was an extra one that I had. But they have these little flowers on them. But I think once I press them in half, they'll be fine. I only need 6 strips for this. Actually, it said, when I did the math, it said 5.7. But I think having that 6 strip will be just enough to close up the binding. That's what I'm hoping. I hope I don't need a 7 strip, but I do have like 1 more extra strip if I absolutely need it. But this is my binding. I will make it pretty soon because I would love to get this quilt finished and see what it looks like all quilted. I'm just not there yet. Okay, so all right, so there are a couple of other projects that I've been doing. One is I have a bear order that I'm finishing up. These are the little flannel jacket bears, and they've come a long way since the last time you saw them. I have them all sewn up and mostly stuffed. I'm just stuffing the arms now, and then I can close everything back up. These bears are pretty much exactly the same. I did give one of them brown eyes and one of them blue eyes, so they would have a little bit of difference, but they turned out really good. I was worried that I wouldn't be able to really sew them, and I will admit there is a little bit of hand piecing in a few spots on these bears because of the way the fabric went. With the 3 layers, it was just a challenge. But they're stuffing really nicely, and I think they're gonna be perfect when I'm done, hopefully very soon. Okay. And the only thing with the bears is that I prefer sewing to stuffing, so I'm just doing a lot of sewing right now. I just gotta get back to those bears. It probably will take maybe an hour, maybe not even, just to stuff the arms. I just have to get to it. Okay. I also have worked on my Starch Experiment, and I see that some of you have started your Starch Experiments as well, and I might be hooked. Like, I'm really excited about working with starch. I think it's going to give me some amazing results in my quilting, and so I can't wait to see what all I can come up with. And there's one more video in the Starch Experiment that I'm going to do. And so I'll show you my blocks, and then I'll talk a little bit about what else I have to try. So this was the original block that I did with no starch. I did go back and starch this one. And then these two were made from the same two fabrics. So you can see that the little diamonds are in different fabrics and the borders are in different fabrics. And then I have, there are two more that I'm going to do. The name of the pattern is Diamond Pavers, and it's from Missouri Star. I found it in the Holiday Block magazine from 2019, but I'm sure they have a video about it somewhere. I just haven't looked it up because the instructions in the magazine are pretty good. So there's one more experiment. I have done no starch. I've done spray it down, let it saturate for a minute, and then press. And so the next one, I'm going to really saturate the fabric with starch and let it dry overnight, and then press it the next day and see what the results are. I'm going to make two more blocks and do the border for this. It'll be a table runner, and then get it ready for quilting and all that. So I'm excited about that. That's going to be a really nice process. Okay. In addition to working with my Diamond Pavers table runner, I did a little bit of tube quilting, and if you've been following the channel, you've already seen these blocks that I made with a tube. I took two strip sets, sewed them together on both sides, and then cut these squares out of them. And somebody commented that I need to get a new ruler. I will. I didn't think that I didn't realize that I needed it until I actually needed it, because I normally don't use that ruler for what I used it for this video. I'll get one sometime. So that's another project that I think I'm going to do with my warm colors and my 2.5-inch strips every once in a while, because I don't need to have a new finished project because I got a lot of stuff going on. Speaking of finished projects, if you watched yesterday's video, you got to see me choose the sashing for my Starlight Star Bright quilt, and I did the red one yesterday. I'm going to put a picture of the block layout here so that you can see how I'm going to lay the blocks out. I've chosen for my sashing to do sort of a scrappy sashing. I'm going to take some fabrics from the quilt, from the blocks, and use those as sashing. I am going to, since I am starching, I'm going to starch all the blocks and starch all the fabrics before I square the blocks up. I'm going to starch them all so that I can get a pretty accurate measurement, and then I will cut my sashing strips out of that. I also have, I'm going to do the cornerstones as well, and I'm using some of the fabrics the black fabrics that I use in the quilt to do the cornerstones. So I'm excited about using those things up as much as possible, but also building up my scrap pile, my 2.5-inch strips, 2.5-inch squares, my 5-inch squares, my strings, crumbs. They're all going to get built up just a little bit because I'm using just smaller pieces of fabric. So I'm excited about that. I also have a couple of my Leader Ender projects. This one, since I was doing so much sewing, I got a lot done on my Pellon strips. This is the last one, the most recent one, and I actually have it finished. It was a really little short strip of paper. So I have this one finished in the colors, and I started here, and then I finished all of these last week. And the only reason was because I was just doing a lot of sewing. So all I have to do now is cut the sides off of this, and then it'll be ready to go into the strip storage. And I do have an idea for these. It's going to take a minute to get to it, but I have an awesome idea. I can't wait to see how it turns out. Let's see. And I started a new Pellon paper. So this is it, but it is really long. So this is how long it is. but I only have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 fabrics on it, but it's pretty cool. One thing that I did was I'm trying to churn my strings because I'm pulling up a lot of blue because I've been doing a lot of work with blue. So I'm trying to churn it, and I did find this piece of polyester from my grandma's quilt that I'm showing on the Throwback Thursday. So I thought that was pretty neat. And I have this whole big piece from that quilt. It's a piece that I had cut off from one of the sides of the quilt. Okay, so it's really neat. I'm glad I found it, and I don't know how often it's going to come up, but because I just want to churn my strings and pull up some more things. All right, so here's that. And then there's one more thing that I want to share. This is one of the orders from my Etsy shop. So thank you for ordering your shirts. This one is the light pink, and it says, "I like big bolts and I cannot lie," on the front, and then on the back, it has the Purple Quilt Company logo. So today I'm going to be packing this up and getting it shipped out to its home. If you have not gotten a chance to order your shirt, you can go to my Etsy. The link is going to be in the description box. There is a discount code for 10% off for through August 10th. So that's going to be Vlogmas 22. So you can enter that in and get 10% off of any purchase on my Etsy. Okay, it's been a lot of fun this week. We only have 8, 9, 30, 31, 4 more days in Vlogmas in July. I can't wait to see how this finishes up. So thank you guys so much for supporting, and I appreciate your likes, your comments, new subscribers. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm so glad that you're here with my channel. If you have any questions about what you've seen in this video, leave them in the comments below. Thumbs up this video and share it with your friends, and subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!